8th grade science, second quarter interim. Question 1. The atomic number of an atom is equal to the total number of A. Neutrons in the nucleus, B. Protons in the nucleus, C. Neutrons plus protons in the atom, D. Protons plus electrons in the atom. Question 2. An atom of an element contains 10 protons, 10 neutrons, and 10 electrons. This element is A. An alkali metal, B. An alkaline earth metal, C. A halogen, D. A noble gas. Question 3. What is the atomic number of an element whose atoms each contain 47 protons, 60 neutrons, and 47 electrons? A. 13, B. 47, C. 60, D. 107. Question 4. The elements in the periodic table are arranged in order of increasing A. Atomic number, B. Mass number, C. Atomic radius, D. Neutron number. Question 5. If the number of neutrons in an atom increases, what happens to the same atom's mass? A. Decreases, B. Increases, C. Remains the same, D. Increases, then decreases. Question 6. Which statement correctly describes both gases and liquids? A. Their shapes stay the same in any container. B. Their shapes change when they are in different containers. C. Their volumes stay the same in any container. D. Their volumes change when they are in different containers. Question 7. On a warm sunny afternoon, ocean water splashed onto a rock. A short time later, the rock was dry. Which statement best explains what happened to the water on the rock? A. Heat caused the water to become a gas. B. Heat melted the water and disappeared. C. Salt caused the water to become a gas. D. Salt melted the water and it disappeared. Question 8. As the molecules of water begin to slow down, they go into a phase where they are no longer able to easily move past each other. The water is passing through a phase change and will A. Remain a mixture, B. Remain a compound, C. Become a gas, D. Become a plasma. Question 9. Alex placed a small beaker of cold water on a hot plate and heated it for 10 minutes. He took the temperature of the water several times during those 10 minutes and recorded his data. Alex claims that the graph shows the relationship between temperature and the time when the water is heated. Which statement best explains why the temperature leveled off in section 2 of the graph? A. Alex turned off the hot plate so the water did not get any warmer. B. The water reached the boiling point so the temperature no longer increased. C. An experimental error caused the graph to level off because the water temperature should keep increasing over time. D. Cold water heats faster than warm water, so once the cold water was room temperature, it took more than 10 minutes to make it hot. Question 10. Which of the following correctly pairs a phase of matter with its description? A. Solid, particles have no motion at all. B. Liquid, particles expand to fill any containers in which they are placed. C. Gas, particles have higher amounts of energy than when in the liquid phase. D. Liquid, particles are more strongly attached to one another than when in the solid phase. Question 11. Salt, NaCl, is best classified as a element, B. Atom, C. Compound, D. Mixture. Question 12. Which of the following is best classified as a compound? A. Helium, He, because it contains only one type of atom. B. Oxygen, O2, because it contains two of the same atoms. C. Carbon dioxide, CO2, because it contains two different types of atoms. D. Manganese, Mn, because it contains a metal and a nonmetal. Question 13. Which of the following explains why salt water is considered a mixture? A. It is composed of one element. B. It is composed of one compound. C. It is composed of two or more substances that make a new substance with the new chemical properties. D. It is composed of two or more substances that keep their own properties. Question 14. Which of the following will form a compound when chemically combined? A. Atoms. B. Elements. C. Neutrons. D. Electrons. Question 15. Which substance can be broken down by chemical means? A, CO, B, CE, C, Ca, D, Cu. Question 16. Which is an example of a chemical reaction? A, nails rusting, B, glass melting, C, sugar dissolving, D, alcohol vaporizing. Question 17. A balanced chemical equation reflects the idea that the mass of the products, A, is greater than the mass of the reactants, B, is less than the mass of the reactants, C, equals the mass of the reactants, D, is not related to the mass of the reactants. Question 18. 2Na plus Cl2 gives you 2NaCl. The equation represents a chemical change because A, it is balanced, B, the product is solid, C, a new substance is produced, D, there are two substances on the reactant side. Question 19. In making a pizza, which process involves a chemical change? A, mixing spices for the sauce, B, slicing pepperoni for the topping, C, spreading cheese on the pizza, D, baking the dough to form a crust. Question 20. Which of the following is an example of a physical change? A, iron exposed to air produces rust. B, hydrogen combined with oxygen forms water. C, sulfur combined with oxygen produces sulfur dioxide. D, liquid nitrogen exposed to air becomes nitrogen gas. Question 21. The law of conservation of mass can be demonstrated by a chemical reaction. Which of the following models of a chemical reaction best represents the law of conservation of mass? A, 1 gray dot plus 2 white dots gives you 1 gray and 2 white. B, 1 gray connected to 1 white plus 2 whites connected will give you 2 whites and 2 grays connected. C, 1 white plus 2 gray connected will give you 1 gray and 1 white connected. D, 2 whites connected plus 2 grays connected will give you 1 gray and 2 whites connected. Question 22. Baking soda mixed with vinegar produces carbon dioxide and water. The best way to prove that no mass was lost during this reaction is to A, use equal masses of baking soda and vinegar, B, determine the masses of all the substances before and after the reaction, C, determine the mass of the carbon dioxide and water that is produced, D, compare the mass of the vinegar and water to be certain they are equal. Question 23. Which chemical equation shows that mass is conserved during the reaction? A, Na plus Cl2 gives you NaCl. B, 2H2O2 gives you 2H2O plus O2. C, CH4 plus O2 will give you CO2 plus 2H2O. D, AgNO3 plus MgCl2 give you AgCl plus MgNO3. Question 24. Chemical X has a mass of 5 grams and chemical Y has a mass of 10 grams. If the two chemicals are mixed and a complete chemical reaction takes place, what is most likely the mass of the product? A, 5 grams, B, 10 grams, C, 15 grams, D, 50 grams. Question 25. A chemical reaction is represented by this equation. 2Fe2O3 gives you 4Fe plus 3O2. What is a product of this chemical reaction? A, FeO, B, F, C, O2, D, Fe2O3. Question 26. Which statement best describes one of the communities represented in the diagram below? A, the mature forest will most likely be stable over a long period of time. B, if all the weeds and grasses are destroyed, the number of carnivores will increase. C, as the population of the shrubs increase, it will be directly limited by the mature forest community. D. The weeds and grasses will invade and take over the young forest community. Question 27. An environment can support only as many organisms as the available energy, minerals, and oxygen will allow. Which term is best described by this statement? A. Biological feedback. B. Carrying capacity. C. Homeostatic control. D. Biological diversity. Question 28. The carrying capacity of a given environment is least dependent upon A. The availability of shelter. B. The availability of food and water. C. Available energy. D. Minor daily temperature fluctuations. Question 29. After a rabbit population reaches the carrying capacity of its habitat, the population of rabbits will most likely A. Decrease only. B. Increase only. C. Alternately increase and decrease. D. Remain unchanged. Question 30. Monocystis is an organism that feeds on the sperm cells of earthworms. The activities of monocystis eventually causes the infected earthworm to become sterile and unable to reproduce. The relationship between the earthworm and monocystis is classified as A. Parasitism, B. Predation, C. Commensalism, D. Mutualism. Question 31. In most habitats, the removal of predators will have the most immediate impact on a population of A. Producers, B. Decomposers, C. Herbivores, D. Microbes. Question 32. Two species of animals with a similar appearance live in the same habitat but do not compete for food. This is because they most likely A. Reproduce at different times of the year, B. Are the same size, C. Occupy different ecological niches, D. Are active at night. Question 33. In a particular ecosystem, squirrels make up a large portion of the diet of coyotes. A fatal disease in the squirrel population begins to reduce their population over a period of months. Which graph best represents the expected changes in population sizes of the coyotes and squirrels? A. Squirrel population decreases as coyote population increases. B. Both squirrel and coyote population decrease. C. Squirrel population decreases and coyote population increases. Or D. Both squirrel and coyote population decrease, but there are more coyotes than squirrels. Question 34. Base your answers to the following questions on the energy pyramid and your knowledge of biology. The greatest amount of available energy is transferred from level A to B, B, A to level C, B to level C, D to level A. Question 35. The accompanying diagram represents a model of a food pyramid. Which statement best describes what happens in this food pyramid? A. More organisms die at higher levels than at lower levels, resulting in less mass at higher levels. B. Energy is lost to the environment and used by each organism at each level, so less mass can be supported at each higher level. C. When organisms die at higher levels, their remains sink to lower levels, increasing the mass of lower levels. D. Organisms decay at each level, and this less mass can be supported by succeeding higher levels. Question 36. The accompanying diagram represents a pyramid of energy in an ecosystem. Which level in the pyramid would most likely contain members of the plant kingdom? A, B, C, or D? Question 37. Base your answer to the following question on the diagram of a food web and your knowledge of biology. What is the original source of energy for this food web? A. Chemical bonds in sugar molecules. B. Enzymatic reactions. C. The sun. D. Chemical reactions of bacteria. Question 38. An energy pyramid containing autotrophs and other organisms from a food chain is represented below. Carnivores would most likely be located in A. Level 1 only, B. Level 1 and Level 2, C. Level 3 only, D. Level 2 and Level 3. Question 39. Which of the following require a host cell because they are not able to make proteins for reproduction on their own? A. Blue-green algae, B. Protozoans, C. Bacteria, D. Viruses. Question 40. The purpose for giving a person a vaccine is to A. Introduce chemicals that destroy viruses, B. Stimulate an immune response that lessens later chance of getting the disease, C. Prevent inflammation, D. Cure a disease. Question 41. Which of the following is one important difference between a virus and a bacterial cell? A. A virus is much larger in size than a bacterial cell. B. A virus is equal in size to a bacterial cell. C. A virus can never reproduce on its own, but a bacterial cell can. D. A virus does not contain genetic material, but a bacterial cell does. Question 42. Antibiotics are helpful in treating an infection when the number of bacteria becomes too large for the body's immune system to fight on its own. Which process enables the bacteria to multiply inside the body? A. Binary fission, B. Fertilization, C. Meiosis, D. Nitrogen fixation. Question 43. Which process is best represented by the diagram below? A. Bacterial binary fission, B. Facilitated diffusion, C. Gamete formation, D. Viral reproduction via a host cell. Question 44. How are parasites and viruses similar? A. Both are always contagious diseases. B. Both infect host organisms in some way. C. Both can reproduce only by using host cells. D. Both break down oxygen. Question 45. Which infection of the human body can most likely be directly treated with an antibiotic? A. Viral infection, B. Protist infection, C. A fungal infection, D. Bacterial infection. Question 46. Which best compares an epidemic and a pandemic? A. An epidemic is caused by bacteria, while a pandemic is caused by viruses. B. A pandemic is spread by humans, while an epidemic is spread by insects and rodents. C. A pandemic occurs in a small region, while an epidemic occurs in a much larger region. D. An epidemic affects a small population of humans, while a pandemic affects a large population of humans. Question 47. Scientists are trying to prevent an epidemic of a highly contagious disease. What information should the scientists study first? A. How the disease reproduces. B. The treatment of the disease. C. The symptoms of the disease. D. How the disease is transmitted. Question 48. Which has had the greatest impact on preventing epidemics in the 21st century? A. Immunizations because they work for every disease. B. New medicines because they cause no side effects. C. Good hygiene because it prevents the transmission of many pathogens. Question 49. In the Midwestern United States, the occurrence of influenza was greater than expected. Which best describes the influenza outbreak? A. A pandemic because influenza is an infectious disease. B. An epidemic because influenza is a non-infectious disease. C. A pandemic because it occurred in more than one state. D. An epidemic because it occurred in high numbers in one region of the United States. Question 50. How can a pandemic best be prevented? A. By monitoring exposed humans and animals. B. By better food preparation practices. C. By strict nutritional requirements. Question 51. Which is a requirement for viruses to reproduce? A. The virus must be inside a living cell. B. The virus must produce a toxin. C. The virus must be a pathogen. Question 52. Which is the vector for malaria? A. Pig. B. Bacteria. C. Mosquito. Question 53. Epidemic measles outbreaks were once common, but their occurrence has greatly diminished. Which best explains this? A. Children receive immunity to the measles virus from their mothers. B. The measles virus has largely been removed from the environment. C. The measles vaccine has greatly reduced the number of viral infections. D. Increased hand washing has greatly reduced the spread of the measles virus.